All right. Yes, I'm here. We did it. Holy cow. I'm so sorry, everybody, that we're late. I think that we can hear me. Josie, can you hear me?
I hear you loud and
Oh my
clear.
gosh. I'm so sorry, people. We are so late tonight. But it happened. Something with the browser. I hope that you saw that opening. Um, but I promise we'll make it up to you one way or the other. What's going on here? We just had a hell of a Monday night. Couldn't everything to work, but we figured it out, Joseph, and that's good. So here we are, everybody. Welcome to CPS Victims Hunting for Justice. I am your host, CPS Punisher. I'm back here again with my newly friend Josie, Canada. Who, her story was is that we don't know enough about Canada, but we know that the problem is up there is the same as here. So I think we need to really push on getting the word spread up there. Like, how much coverage do you guys get in the CPS problems? Like, are up there in Canada. Like, do people talk about it? And here we are too. Also, sorry, Josie, I didn't mean to. Herbert, the law enforcement czar, right there. He is sitting and awaiting any questions we have. See, back to the question I was just asking. Do you guys get a lot of coverage in Canada about CPS, or is it really like a secret still?
It's still a secret because they're all minors. Nobody's allowed to talk about it, and because they're in care, they're not allowed to talk about it. So news media won't talk about it. They don't like. There's sometimes the government, when they do a good thing, like, oh, we're going to be giving like a whole bunch of money for the children's aid because we're nice. Then they talk about it, but they don't talk about the cases and how people are actually living in CPS. That's hush. That's quiet.
So what are the amount of children that are actually being removed in Canada? I mean, is it an amount equal to what we have in the United States?
I don't know how much.
Or is it?
I know they said here in Canada the statistic is, well, in Quebec the statistic is 1 in 4 families will be reached. Will in their lifetime will have a call from CPS. 1 in 4 families.
So 25% of Canada's families will have CPS at their doorstep that one way or the other at some point in time.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a number. I mean, that's a lot.
What about you guys?
Well, I know that. So in our country, it's taken into CPS custody, never to be returned. So you figure 500,000 kids a year are actually taken into custody, never returned home. But last year alone, there was like 3.3 million investigations done. So,
by who?
So there was last.
Oh, okay.
Year, I think it was 3 accusations done against people for reasons for an active CPS, to make sure that they go and check things out. So yeah, they have to. In the United States, they have to. If they get a call or a complaint, they have to go and visit it. That's the one thing that by law CPS has to do, is they have to go and investigate that complaint. Now, I don't know. What do they call that?
Like, what I mean is that there's nobody investigating CPS. Like, for the past year, that has been my goal, is trying to find someone to investigate what they're doing. And believe me, I went knocking and I wrote to everybody. I tried everything. There's nobody that will investigate CPS.
That's a fact. You guys don't have oversight committees there?
They're all part of the plan. So when you write to them, they're like, oh no, that worker was good and we don't need that, and there's no oversight, and nobody checking on the oversight. That's where I'm at right now. I'm like, why is there nobody checking? Like, I have proof that this is all wrong, and nobody is checking it. Nobody is asking me for my receipts. Nobody is asking for confirmation.
Now, who runs your oversight committee?
Well, like I said the last time, here in Quebec, the province owns CPS, but in different provinces like Ontario and stuff, it's like private. So we're the only one in Canada that the government still owns CPS. It's run and owned by CPS.
Okay. So who is the oversight?
I'm still looking. I've been looking for a year. I don't know yet. I tried the ombudsman. I tried the commission of human rights.
You all know that the ombudsman is tied right to them. So I mean, you might as well
100%.
just,
They're all tied. I tried the human rights commissions. I tried complaints to the to the hospitals, to the CPS. I tried organizations. I tried political people. I went up. I made complaints to the ethical board. Nothing.
You've heard nothing back. And no, because see, we run into that same problem here. When my daughter was taken, I was calling, first of all, when they took my daughter, I didn't think that there was ever going to be anything of this. I figured it was whatever, this is ridiculous, it was traumatic, but tomorrow we'll have her back, big misunderstanding. We'll sue the hell out of these people. That's what I figured, because there was no reason, right? So I went right to the Congress people. I'm like, well, I really thought that my story was one of a kind. I didn't realize that this was going on not only throughout the United States, but throughout the world. So what I quickly found out once I started researching these things, my story is the same as your story, is the same as Herbert's story, is the same as this person's. We're all trying to do the same thing and finding someone, for God's sakes, just listen. And they're not getting it right. So this is what I mean by that. They are taking this focus on, and what they're doing, for a minute, I thought that they were starting to understand it. I thought that they were getting it. But what they're doing is now they're taking under, it's funded wrong, it's doing this. They're like, yeah, I'm listening. Because what they're doing is they're saying that too many kids are still getting hurt or they're getting killed under CPS supervision, and now they're weighing away from well, we didn't do anything wrong to deserve this stuff, people, and it's almost like it's penalizing us even more, because now they're putting thicker claws into these things. And you're like, whoa, you guys are doing this wrong. These investigations aren't right. They're not investigating this properly. They're taking our kids for no reasons. And then the kids are being investigated. But why? We know why. They call it damaged goods. No one wants to, there's no money in a baby that has an alcohol fetus problem, or, that's expensive to the department because they get the medical money and everything, but it's hard to adopt these kids out. You know what I mean? So they're not, the whole system is just so corrupt and so crooked, and you don't see it until you're in it, apart. Like, there's no, you can see or can even try to compare to, because these people have, we're contacting these senators and Congress people and the news agencies. Every one of them are involved in this stuff. The news agencies won't report on it because there's a stipulation that says if they report falsely on a CPS agent, that they'll lose their license for a day, be fined $50,000, all of this stuff. So news agencies aren't picking this up. The Congress people, in our Senate and our Congress, they're not touching this, because one way or the other, I'm sure that they're getting their wheels are being greased somehow. So I never heard a thing that I literally had to have been for the first year, an email a day to the senators, to every person in the legislature, to all of this. You know how many times I got a return? 0.
Yep, I know.
Never.
But can you imagine? I sent a letter to all the conservatives and all the politicians in Canada. Like you said, you did it. So, and everybody does it because we're desperate and we're like, this is what we do. So they know that there's a problem. By the amount of people that send them an email saying, help us, like they know, but they're not saying a word.
And they have to. That's the other part of this, is we need these people that know something about this or that have been involved in this to come out and speak so that we don't look crazy, that we don't look to be, and I get it, you know, like these people, if they've gotten their kids back, they want to let this ship sail, man. You know, like, we're good. I don't want anything more to do with CPS. We got our kids home. We're out of here, 1,000%. But come on, there's so many states. Check this. This is the number. They've taken over 10 million kids and adopted them in 20 years, okay? 10 million kids have been removed from their homes and never to go back, ever, right? So that's nuts in itself. So what I like to say is this. I like to say a child, for every child that is removed by CPS, it affects, you know, like friends, uncles, relatives, store owners, things like that. So if we take the 10 million people or the 10 million children that have never been returned home, we multiply that by 10. That's 100 million people that have been affected in one way or the other by CPS. Only 151 million people voted in the last election. Can you imagine if we could rally this 100 million people that are just sitting dormant and feeling isolated and shoved down by the man and all of this stuff? If we could get these people to come and stand up with us and show our cause, holy crap, we could do something serious here. We could change the tide of everything that's going on. We could abolish CPS. I mean, to show that amount of strength and that amount of power, huge. You know, and then if we could team up with you guys in Canada, I mean, how many people up in Canada could we get together to show as a massive force, a North American force of anti-CPS? You know, like, I mean, I don't even know how we would begin to orchestrate such a giant, enormous move, but it's worthy of being attempted and trying to be done, because let me tell you something. If we can't win this election of CPS and the anti-CPS and all of this stuff, we've got 4 more years of waiting around for another opportunity to bang at the doors like we do now. And do you think this cause will stand that test of time? You know, this movement is hungry right now. This movement is ready to break down these doors and do something. But to have to hang on for another 4 years, people are going to lose interest. You're going to feel defeated.
Yeah.
You're going to be pressed back in a box.
Exactly.
All of these things that you've worked and spent every bit of energy into is just going to dissipate. You know, like, you'll be fighting. You know what I mean? But we're not the norm. You know, we're not. Unfortunately, you know, like.
But like, I want to know about your story. Because I wanted to listen to it on Spotify and I don't have an account.
Oh, about me? What happened to me?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So, the night before Halloween, 2020. We had just come home from Florida. We were down there for 6 months when all the COVID kicked off and all that stuff. My father was dying, so we went down there to take care of him and be with him and do some paperwork stuff. But we came home just short of that because of the COVID thing, and we were literally stuck down there because I had my identity stolen, our bank accounts emptied, our car repoed, like everything that could have bad happened to us happened when we went to Florida to do this stuff for my father. So we come home, my father passes away, My mother-in-law, I mean, my father-in-law passes away, both within 5 days of each other. That's in April. Fast forward to October. A friend of ours had borrowed some money from us. So which was never a problem before. Um, so, the money did, and then the person just vanished. So about 3 weeks went by, and we never heard from this person anymore. Well, we went. It was supposed to be my wife and I's wedding. I had stopped in at a hotel with a crew that we had just went and looked at a job, and we had a buddy that was staying up. We stopped in to visit him. Well, this individual was at the hotel where the one that had loaned the money, where we were visiting our friend. And we went in there. It got a little heated, an argument and everything, and the person calls 911. So me and my friends, we just leave. We get in the truck. We take off. Then the person hangs up on 911. Whatever. We get pulled over. We're all arrested for armed robbery. That's what we get arrested for, because one of the guys that was with us had one of those airsoft guns. So we get arrested for armed robbery that night. So we go to jail. My wife bails me out. We have a $25,000 cash bail put up. Goes down to $10,000. Put on $10,000. She pays the $10,000. I come home. I get home. 24 hours later, the police department shows up. They want to do a bail check on. Now, I have had a broken back since I've been on all kinds of pain remedies, pain pills, Oxycontins, oxycodones, fentanyl, you name the gamut that the pharmaceuticals have put me under. I'll be on them my entire life because I refuse to get a back surgery. It is what it is. I can either be a crippled or I can take these medicines to function, that's why I bounce back and forth like this, because my back, if I'm standing too long, my back locks up. So I have to keep going back and forth to keep that lubricated. I have narcolepsy, so if I sit down, I fall asleep. Like, it sucks, so anyway, the police house, we had a bunch of my meds and all of this stuff in a lockbox in the garage. It was one of those safes that you had to put your palm print on. And it was my meds, along with a couple other things that were involved in there, but they were all in this lockbox. And my wife had called that day and said, hey, what do we want to do with the things that Darren has? That way we can comply with the bail conditions. But some of these are his medicines, and they're like, I'm whatever, you can imply what you want to imply from that. So the lockbox, they see my medicines, they put it away, they put the box away. Like I said, it's in the garage, 10 feet off the ground. We go through the rest of the house is fine. We're walking out, telling the cops goodbye, they arrest me. They arrest me for having controlled substances. They're like, whoa, what are you talking about? Well, he just told you, he gave you the lockbox, we let you open the safe, this is not what whatever. This cop calls CPS, has CPS come down. So they come the next morning. They come with a stockpile of police cars. I think there were 6 or 7 CPS agents. I mean, they literally flooded the yard when they come rolling in. The cops immediately pinned me into the corner. Because I'm getting, and they're like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Well, because you're alleged of this armed robbery, this crime, and all of this stuff, and you had your medicines and stuff in the garage, so this is why CPS is here. I'm like, well, what the hell does this have to do with CPS? My daughter wasn't around. She wasn't around for any of this, let alone the meds and everything that were mine, that were in the garage, in a lockbox. I mean, most parents don't even go through that.
And how old is your daughter at this time?
What's that?
How old is your daughter at that time?
She's 3.
Oh.
So they come in, and now mind you this, so my entire life, I've worked with people in recovery. I've been a part of programs my entire life since I've been on this stuff. See, I didn't realize I was even addicted to anything when I first got on these. When I was 16 years old, I was given an arsenal of Oxycontins and Percocet 30s when I broke my back, along with a bunch of muscle relaxers and everything else, because I broke the bottom 3 discs. I had no idea. I was on those for 10 years. No clue what the heck was going on. So Well, unbeknownst to me, oh my gosh, did I lose you? I lost the whole damn thing. Hopefully you're there. To me, when they take me off of these things, I end up getting deathly ill. So I go back to the hospital. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Well, come to find out, there's an addiction problem now. Not an addiction to me, but an addiction to these meds. So now I go into a program. I've been in programs for years. I help out with these programs. I do all of these things that I can do. And I've always been very cautious because on these pain meds, very dangerous. You know, and this thing could turn over in a moment's notice on you. So you need to always proceed with caution when you're taking these type of medicines. And I always did. So whenever I was on these things, I always was in a program. Like I said, I always was helping people and everything else. CPS comes to the house. I tell them my story. I tell them exactly what was going on. They make me leave my program. They make me leave my program that I was in for 3 years, helping out all these other students and all of this stuff. They make me leave so that I can go to one of their specialists. Can you believe this? You're there, right?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Good, because I can't even see you now. So that's basically it in a nutshell. And then so here's where things get a little bit quirky. I see my counselor for the first time. She says to me, she goes, Darren, what do you think about all this? I'm like, this is wrong. I think that there's no reason for them to be separated, my wife and I, at this point. I was supposed to be at my mother's, not allowed to be around the baby. And, they put all this dividing and all of these things into us to separate the family, which they first do. So my counselor tells me to do a podcast. I should do a podcast. That way I can get out to the world what's going on. I do exactly that. I even contacted DHS. I told them, I said, hey, I'm doing this podcast, just letting you know, because I wanted no surprises. So I told my story. Wow. What a freaking mistake. You get a phone call, and you need to, it was an emergency, what they call a family team meeting. This Darren, you need to come to this emergency team meeting, yada, yada, yada. That my daughter was going to, they wanted her to go to New York with my cousins, whom my daughter was with at this point. They wanted her to go to New York, and I was against this because COVID was really bad. And at the same time, I was doing the podcast. So I thought they were coming in to commend me for no way is this going to happen. No way are we going to do this podcast or this trip to New York because it's really bad there, so on and so forth. They stripped away my visit. They stripped away everything from my daughter because of my podcast.
Oh no, that's like me.
Yeah, that was it. No jury, no trial, no nothing. That was it. Game freaking over for me and anything I had to do with my child. Now, my wife was still able to talk to Nina every day and communicate and visit with her. And that didn't go without gang stalking. Like that, I wasn't even allowed to be with my wife in the vehicle to ride up to where my daughter was to visit. It's 100 and something miles away. So, it's a long ride. And a woman shouldn't be riding that alone if they have a husband that's able and willing to go with them, right? It's a long trip. But they wouldn't even allow me to do that with her. And they would have people scoped out, seeing if we were there. There's all kinds of things that were unnecessary. And the bottom line of all of this, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. My caseworker was 23 years old, just out of college. Her father was the former Attorney General for the OCFS, Office of Child and Family Services in the state of Maine. He's the leading for hire, guardian ad litem. Every person that was involved in our case was of the upper creme de la creme of placements. The bottom line is this: the caseworker saw, or the DHS saw, a case that was plagued with 7 on all kinds of different charges, stemming from drugs to armed robbery. This was an easy no-brainer. Implement the new changes that Maine was putting in to make this new face and all of this. And what better person to do it than this person?
Right.
All my charges were dismissed. Every charge that I, during all of this stuff, was dismissed. Except for the problem is, they already TPR'd us. They TPR'd me, one, because they stopped me from talking to her. So they took the 6 months that I wasn't able to talk to her. They called it abandonment and stuff. They said. So even though my counselor was model person for recovery, model this, model that, no parenting, all of these things, that didn't matter. That didn't matter to them. What mattered to them was that my podcast, I didn't stop it, and I spoke out against the department. And my poor wife was terminated because it supported me. That's it. That's our story. And I can't even believe that, we're sitting here having these conversations for something so minute, for something that is so, I can't even believe that not someone has heard my story and said, man, we got to take this off of this guy. But I understand, because we're all the same. We really are all in the same boat. We've all done nothing of animosity or anything like that towards our children or grandchildren. We've all just had life happen to us.
Yeah. And 100%. And that's the thing too, because although you're saying your story, you're saying I'm seeing it in grandma's eyes, and I'm seeing my daughter. She didn't have like the perfect life. She was a little troublemaker. She was in and out of the system herself. So they're using that against her like they were using your past against you. It was easy target. She didn't fit the bill. The problem is that she had a mom like me behind her.
Right.
So I'm the one that's, and our story meshes, right? She had the profile perfect to have her child taken away. Her child would have been placed at 18, like in 3 months later. When the child was taken, the reason why it's still there is because I'm still pushing in the back. I'm still pushing because the child would be gone and placed until 18. Same with me. The reason why it's pushing is because I don't want to say this narcissistically, but I am the prime person. I serve my country. I don't have any anything bad. I don't have a criminal record. My husband worked at the DPG. He has no criminal record. I volunteer for my school. I'm on the school board committee. I'm an excellent mom with my 2 other children. So it's hard for them to try to find something wrong with me. But I have a mouth on me. So I did the TikTok. It went viral. That's the only thing they have on me, is that they're calling me an anti-DPG activist. I'm not an activist. I'm just saying what I'm showing my story, right? And so I understand. I get both. Your whole story is my story, but with 2 people. I get it, and I'm sorry. And you're right. We are so many, and they did pick on you because they knew you fit the profile easily to get your child taken away. And that's sad. And that's judgment, that you're probably a better parent than half the foster families that are there that are just wanting money. You know,
Right.
like they don't understand. They never listen. They don't, because in their book they figured, oh, you're bad. You've done this. You know.
Right.
They profiled you. They profiled you, not based on color, based on resume. They profiled my daughter for a birth alert based on her resume. You know, they don't realize how close of a relationship we have. They don't realize how loving of a family support system she has. They just imagine, oh, she was a foster kid, like she went in care, so her family must hate her, but it's not true. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's profiling.
I mean, what did yours? I don't recall exactly, but yours didn't have anything to do with your daughter either, right? Your granddaughter, they just came and took her, right?
They just came and took her because she fit the profile. Okay,
right.
We're taking her at the hospital. 3 days old.
And for nothing, because of a past.
And my daughter was trying to breastfeed, and they're like, no. So they stole her, and then my daughter, she missed out on breastfeeding, on everything. And my daughter is such a loving person.
That's really big.
Yes.
That's a big problem for a baby, to miss out on breastfeeding with their mother.
I know. They didn't give a fuck. They're like, no, not going to. At one point, my daughter was literally pulling out her milk, okay, from home, trying so that she could give, because she thought she was going to have the baby back, right? So she was doing everything, and she's like, I'm just going to pump it, then when she comes back. Like, this baby has never slept in her bed.
Oh.
Ever. My daughter never got the joy of picking her up in the morning and or putting her down to sleep. Like, how sad is that? That makes me mad. Like, it's my daughter, but it's my granddaughter. I'm like, because of my TikToks, they did not let me see my granddaughter for 7 months.
That's just awful. It's so, I can't believe that, I just can't believe that they're so quick to deal with these children and take them to go through months and months and months of reunification services, right? Like, they won't just give you your child back, right? Like, no. You won't just get it back. You got to go through all these different hoops and all this other stuff. You know, like, wait a minute, but you could just take the baby from me. This doesn't make any sense. You know, like, what is your...
And the funny thing, too, my daughter is supposed to go to court on Thursday coming up. And I went and saw her, and I was like, you can't go to court Thursday because I'm still in my appeal for the decision last time. So I thought that the minute you had an appeal, everything froze. And she said, I talked to my lawyer today, and she said it doesn't matter. And I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't matter? I have an appeal on the decision. You can't continue something if something is on pause.
Right,
but
I thought so
this
too.
This is it. They don't care about their laws. They don't care. They're just going to do whatever they want to do.
I thought you were exactly right. I thought that's supposed to be, if you're on an appeal, you're supposed to just be on the pause.
On pause. Right. On pause. Because if I get a chance to do the appeal, then we're appealing this decision. How are they going to make another decision if I'm appealing the bad decision?
Right.
But I guess here in Quebec, the laws don't care, and they can go to court. So I'm like, no. Thursday, when I go to court with you, I will go and be like, no, conflict of interest. I'm appealing the decision. Like, this is stop. Like, no.
Right. What is it that you guys are going for their case for? What are they going to the court for this week?
Right now, they want to place her to majority till she's 18.
So awful. Now, what are the things that what is it that your daughter's able to try to stop, and what is it that you're trying to block it with? Like, you're trying to get...
Well, my daughter right now did exactly what, like you said, She did all the little courses for like the year. Like she did everything. She went and saw a psychiatrist, and then they didn't like the psychiatrist. They made it one and saw her a different psychiatrist, where the second psychiatrist said the same thing as the first psychiatrist. And then she did like this a program with CPS, and she aced that. And in the details of the girl, it says that she's very nice. She listens to her child's needs. She's very protective. She's very like it's like the perfect report. And
Right.
then but like this baby was sold, and so they're fighting because they promised this other foster family the baby. But
Right.
I'm like, no, and they're gonna say the same thing. Well, it's been a year. You haven't seen her enough. She's attached to the foster family. I don't give
Right.
a fuck if she's attached to the
Right.
foster family. She's
Well,
mine. Like,
Right. That's our child. It's our blood. It's our
Exactly.
children that are. They can come home whenever the frig they want.
exactly.
Why
Like
you
at
get to
all.
take them right
You,
away?
like you didn't seem to care when you stole her at 3 days old that she was detached from her fucking mother, that she was in fucking 9 months.
Yep. No. Not a damn. Not a miss. Not skipped a beat. Just right in. For what? For what reasoning? Because of a past.
For nothing.
Because-
For
Right.
nothing. And now they have the proof that Naomi was never the problem. Like, I mean, she's a good mom. I knew this. I told them I'm not scared. I would trust my oldest daughter with my 2 babies, like my 2 other children. I have confidence in her. Like, who are you to judge whether my daughter's a
Right.
good mom? I know her best. I have confidence in her. Let her be. Like, fuck, they didn't even give her a chance to fuck up.
Yep. I mean, we are given that right in our Constitution.
You would think.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but we're given that in our Constitution. We have the right to say that we see fit. Sorry about you. There we go. I mean, this is what we're allowed to do based on our Constitution, our rights. I mean, I don't know what you guys go by up there in Canada, but in this country, we're allowed to raise our children as we see fit.
No. Here in Quebec, I'm talking, the premier or whatever you want to call them said that the government owns our kids. We don't
Really?
own our kids. The government owns our kids. He said it.
Wow. Well, I mean, there is that goes on in this country to the degree of, if you believe in the conspiracy stuff and the stick figure, and that they sell your birth certificate when you're born, and
Yeah.
the parents patriots and all of that stuff. But you know what? I'm gonna get Herbert in here because I can finally see everybody again. Thank you. I was out there for a while in the blue. Herbert, I know you've been just sitting there listening to Josie and I, but being a person that's not familiar, brand new into the Child Protective Services stuff, let's put the law enforcement stuff aside. What are your thoughts, man? What do you think?
Okay, here's my thoughts. When I respond to a call, and for whatever reason we're taking the parent or parents, we usually ask for a relative that can take the children or child. That's number one. So when I listen to, is it Josie?
Josie, yeah.
Is it Josie?
Josie, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, Josie. When I was listening to your story. This was after we listened to Darren's story. I was confused with. See, I thought it was your child, but it's your grandchild. Why wasn't your grandchild given to you when it was taken away from your daughter?
Exactly. That's the fucking problem. They don't want me because my husband worked with them, and in the past I sued CPS for how they treated my daughter. So they know that I'm a big mouth and that I'm a loud mouth, and they're no, we don't want to work with Jose anymore. So they don't like me, but they had no reason.
Okay, but what you okay? Were you having problems with CPS before your granddaughter was born?
No, CPS was out of our lives for like 3 years, like 4 years, I think. Even they were gone, long gone. We weren't even thinking about them anymore.
Why were they even in your life?
Because it was a birth alert. Oh, when with my daughter, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, that back in the day, I said I was a single mom and stuff, and then I had a teenager. She started having problems, and I went knocking on their door for help.
No, I'm talking about your daughter had a child.
That's what she's saying. She went and asked CPS for help to help raise her daughter, to help give her into programs because she.
And now my granddaughter was a birth alert. So the CPS just came and took her at the hospital at 3 days old, but CPS wasn't there.
Okay, so at this point, whatever it was, the CPS came and took your granddaughter. Now you go to CPS and say, "Hey, look, I'm the grandma. I can take my granddaughter."
They won't because they don't like me because I do TikToks, and they don't like me. That's it. That's all. There's no reason.
Okay. Have you attempted to get another family member to take the granddaughter?
They won't even entertain the idea. My mother-in-law, Kaylee's great-grandmother, is a foster family for the same CPS. They did not even ask her. And she's an employee.
Has she asked them?
Yes. Well, they won't do it. It's not even an option.
So the fact that she's an employee, she cannot do it.
They won't take her.
Because she's an employee. Is that correct?
No, because it's my mother-in-law.
Right.
The problem is that they're pissed off at me, and Naomi fit the profile for taking a baby, so they did it. It's like a win-win for both of them on all fronts.
Mm-hmm. So I know it's a whole different country. I get that. So you have court dates coming up, and what are you trying to do in the courts?
Okay, well, because I have plenty of stuff in court. So this Thursday is with my daughter. They're going to court to they want to try to place the baby up till she's 18 years old in foster care.
Jesus.
So
that's full term.
Yeah.
Because at 18, the child is an adult.
I know that's exactly it. They want to place her till majority. So the baby right now is a year and 2 months.
Do you have any friends? Do you have any friends?
But they don't care. They will not entertain the idea, even if. And the problem here too is that say I told my daughter, I said, let me adopt the baby. Okay, like whatever. But the problem is my daughter there's no reason that my daughter should not have her daughter. Like, I mean, right. But I said, let's entertain this idea. Let's say I adopt your baby, okay? But you know what the fucking problem is here? Is that who does the adoption? CPS. So even if I go want to make an adoption story, they will not allow me to adopt her or get kinship or nothing because CPS runs the adoption.
Okay. Have you attempted to get an attorney to look into it for you?
No attorney here in my little sector will take me. But my daughter has an attorney, but nobody will take me. And then when I ask for a different region, that let's say I say come over, I'll pay for your transportation when we come here. They're like, oh no, we don't go to Saguenay. So I'm like stuck by myself here, doing everything, trying to find the hoops and the turns, and I go to court and I self-represent and I do everything myself. But I'm getting good at it, though. I'm going to write a book and give you guys all my tools.
That's great.
Okay. Well, again, you know, the thing, the dilemma I'm hearing is that you're in a different country, and the way they may do things and look at things is different than they do in the States, in the lower 48.
Maybe.
So that makes somewhat of a difference.
But like here in Canada, if you like different province, like different states here, like you would call them, different rules for each different province.
Right.
All,
and we have kind of different rules in the States too, but they're primarily all the same.
Yeah.
See, it's primarily all the same. But to compare the lower 48 to the province, it's a whole different ballgame.
Right. But I mean, we're kind of different. We're kind of similar like that in here because we have the federal government, which lays down this, and then that money is then given to the governor. Now decides the way to develop the things to go on, and the way that it breaks down into the cities, to the towns, to the counties. So I mean, and that's
no. But I'm talking about what I'm talking about, Darren, is the procedure of things, not the money. It's just the procedure.
Yeah, well, but I mean, Herbert, like there is a procedure here. The procedure is the baby is supposed to come to the grandmother. Here too,
yes,
it's written, yes, but they do not follow the procedure. That's what I mean. Like we all know that.
Is there a higher court that you can go to bring it to that?
I was telling Darren, that's the problem. Is that I have all the proof that they did not follow procedure. That this is a birth alert. That this is wrong. Like a lot. But what I said, there was no oversight, and then the judge is just following whatever they say, but there's no oversight.
That's just insanity.
I see.
It's absolute insanity.
Oh, we're getting feedback.
I don't know. Good? I'm here.
Okay.
I hear the feedback.
Okay, we're good right now, right?
Yeah, but I hear feedback.
Well, it might have been me because I'm trying to get to this video. I want to show you. I want to show you this guy here, Josh Hawley. That is, he's a senator from out west, and I don't know what his plans are.
I'm gonna try to leave and come back. Okay. I'm gonna leave and come back.
Hold on. Are you there? Okay. Are you there?
Put on mute.
Okay, so what I want you to see is this. Hold on a minute.
I can hear you, but I'm not seeing you. I'm trying to join.
No. It's hold on. Hold on a minute.
I'm here, but I got a blank screen.
They are delivering meals. They are harvesting coffee. They are working construction. They are working as housekeepers. They are working shifts at plants where they are not paid. They are not going to school. They are not cared for, giving meals, almost all of it illegally. Are you aware of that? That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Do the Know Your Rights presentation help them in those situations?
Senator ORR.
That's a yes or no, I think. Do you really think that you're helping children by releasing them to labor traffickers and, yes, sex traffickers? Thousands whom you have no contact with, and your answer is, we gave them a presentation before we turned them over to these people who are exploiting them on a scale not seen in this country for a century. A century. It's a disgrace, the United States of America. Let me ask you this. You did an audit, I noticed, where you gave your clean bill of health. So just tell me, do you require sponsors to document their relationship with the child?
Senator, we have a thorough vetting.
Do you require sponsors to document their relationship with?
Yes, we go through.
No, you do not. You not. Have you read the Senate's Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations reports on your office? 2016, there was one in 2018, there was one in 2020, there was one in 2022. Spanning administrations, what they found is you do not require sponsors to document their relationship with the child. You release them. What about background checks? Do you require background checks in the household?
In cases where the child is being released to their parents, we do not require background checks. But Senator would
Do you
really
require
like,
background checks on all adults in the household in any case?
Yes, in some cases we do.
What percentages do you do background checks on the adults in the household?
I have that number in front of me.
Do you do home visits in all cases? You can actually see where these children are being released, whose care you're putting them in?
We do not do home visits in all cases. Senator, I'd really like the opportunity to talk about what we are doing.
What you're doing, and it's incredibly and totally inadequate. And we can, in the New York Times, since you say you've read it, let's talk a little bit about that New York Times report.
Here. Okay. This is what we need more of, right? Like that's what we need. People that's Josh Hawley. He's out of Missouri. I mean, we need more of people like this guy that's holding DHS accountable. Now, granted, that was more towards the trafficking and all that. But listen, our kid be put into the traffic thing at any moment. You know, like if we lose one of our kids, there's no where our kids go or where they're going to end. And that's the sad thing. That's the part that is just heartbreaking in itself. That's the part that's hard to swallow. Look, I have these support groups with these dads that I used to do on Monday nights. And half the guys that were there, they were fathers who had lost their children and they were grieving the loss of their children because they had passed away. The other half were kids, and we had a discussion. Both of them clearly equally as awful and terrible, as that. But one of them you get closure and one of them you don't. See, what you don't get when they take your kid and your kid is still alive and out there and waiting is you don't get to ever rest. You don't ever get to be quiet. You don't get to, as long as I have breath in my lungs and my daughter's not home with me, I will fight for her. No matter where she is, no matter where, it doesn't matter. I will find her and I will continue to fight for her. If they pass away, you get to mourn. You get stressed, you get that. People don't understand the drive that you have when you're in this involvement with CPS. You're pissed off, you're angry, you're mad. People are like, look at it, how can you be like that? You stole my kid. You stole my child. You stole a piece of our family. Now, I'm not saying that kids that there aren't situations where they need the system. And that is true. But I'll tell you this, the state of Maine now, this past month, has made CPS no longer part of Department of Health and Human Services. They put it in as its own entity, which I think is completely bad and awful, because now you think that they have no oversight when they're, wait till they have their own. So who's going to watch these people now when they're just sitting there by themselves running their own thing? This is dangerous as all sin. But they've proven that they can instantly switch something. Why can't we push to a button and continue to monitor kids in need and things that we need to help while we reframe this thing and build it from the bottom up the way it's supposed to be? Not about money, not about dollars, not about this, that, or the other. We start from the children and their individual needs. Abolish this CPS. Stop it. And start all over. That's what's on our website, on my abolishcps.com website. It has the bill that I've written for everybody to go ahead and check and try to submit to their senators, add to whatever. Let's abolish this thing. Our time is now for this, because all that's happening is a shit ton of heartache, a shit ton of ruining children's lives, and a shit ton of destroying the families of this world. That's it. That's all that's happening right now, because the kids that need help aren't getting it. This is just out of control. Good coming from a system. I mean, look at this guy, this senator. Why can't we have more of them coming out and standing up for us?
Yeah.
It's just, and that's what we need. It's just people don't agree. People don't get the severity, the pain, the heartache, with this. They think that we're enraged lunatics trying to, do this or do that, and we're just pissed off because we lost our kids. It has nothing to do with that. They took our God-given right to have a child, to create a life, they took that from us, and they
Yeah.
took away what we created. That's only supposed to be taken by our creator. Those are inalienable rights that we were given in this country. Like we are supposed to be able to raise a child, have a child. If we're blessed to be able to have a child, that's our key to heaven, man. It says it right in the Bible. That's so what these people are doing. This is more than just CPS breaking the law and all of this. I mean, this is them just degrading people. This is them taking the spirit away from people, taking happiness and joy and all of this stuff. They're just decimating thousands and just smushing us down. And that's what they're doing.
I 100% agree with that.
There's just no other way. And you know what? What are we gonna do? We got to win this. We've got to figure out, and we got to figure out quick how we need to be.
But there's more and more.
Time took her out. Okay. There's more and more.
No, I'm here. I'm back. Right. I had a phone call. That's why it stopped.
So there's more and more
people talking about it. Right. I was saying there's more and more people talking about it. And I think just being brave and talking about it is already like a bigger step than it was like 3 years ago, because nobody talked about it. So like we're doing something right.
Right. And they mess up our shows and they do all that. So on my website, I sell a bunch of I put a bunch of apparel up there. It's anti-CPS apparel.
Yeah.
So like this one here, like the Donald Trump red hat, Make America Great Again. So I put Make Parenting Great Again, Stop CPS Corruption. I had all kinds of stuff that I designed. These sweatshirts, CPS Punisher sweatshirts right here. I have this one here. This is my favorite. I designed this one for little kids, property of my mom and dad, Stop CPS Corruption. But I have a ton of this stuff on my website because I believe that part of this is breaking the stigma, is letting people know that it's okay, that child protective. It's like when you were divorced. When I was a kid, my parents were divorced. That was unspoken of. You didn't talk about it. You didn't, you hope to God no one asked about your parents when you were a kid, because you didn't, that was out of the norm. That was embarrassing, if your parents. It's the same thing. You know what? It's okay. CPS is corrupt. They came after you. You got a crappy deal in something, man. Let us get out there so that we can help you together. So part of my plan, but changing the stigma. So I have a ton of apparel that's at abolishcps.com. Like every person from winter dresses to, you name it, and I have all CPS, because if we can get the word out on apparel, we can get it out there to educate. We can get people asking questions. We can get people to see that this is a real deal. That's part of this, because if they don't see, they can't fight. They don't know. I didn't know. Herbert didn't know. You knew.
No.
But you did, because your husband was in CPS. But like what the corruption level is and what they were capable of doing with taking your rights and everything. No idea. So a part of that, like I said, is that, and I you know what? Check it out, because I have a ton of stuff. I also sell like camera systems and video recorders, and I sell books that you can have. And it says like The Truth and Family of. They're just notebooks, so you can write down all your stuff that's in. Like anything that you need in a CPS investigation is at abolishcps.com. That's what we wanted, is a place to park all this stuff, so that we have one spot that everybody can go to. They can find us there, Josie, with Herbert, and talking about this stuff. Like all of these files are there. I have got files upon files of backload. There's chat rooms there. There's all kinds of things. Like this is a tool that we need, so that together we can all grow together and get together and build a mess. We can show up like this. Imagine we show up at November time for voting, and there's 100 million people showing up that they were like, whoa, what just happened? I know that's a little bit crazy to say, but is it? If so many people voted for Joe Biden last year, last election, nothing's impossible, I guess. Like, so if we can all just
Is it true that Michelle Obama wants to be president now? Is that true, or is that like a fake news?
I don't know. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
it would surprise me. No, it would surprise me. Because she's already said numerous times that she does not want to. And she's not a politician. Usually when politicians say they're not going to do something, that's exactly what they're going to do.
Right. So so you think that she's coming?
No.
Well,
because she said no. She didn't even want her husband to run for president.
I saw a TikTok like a couple days ago saying that she announced that she was running. So I didn't know if it was fake news or not. That's the thing.
That's fake news.
Well,
if she was running, it would be in the New York Times.
Well, you never know, man. Like they get these little.
No, the fact that Jonesy saw it in TikTok, and they did a fact check on it and found out it's true, it would be all over the news.
Well, TikTok.
No. What I'm saying is, if it's true that she's really going to run, it will be in every newspaper. It will be on every news channel that she's announced she's going to run.
Okay, watch tomorrow. I'll be everywhere.
Yeah.
Then you're going to be like, fucking Josie.
Here's what happens, though. If it's fake news and the fact checkers realize it's not true, you're not going to see it everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing a search and fact check right now.
While you're doing that, I'll tell Josie, there was a meeting between Carlson and Putin.
Yeah,
and Putin said that he would like to have Biden run for president or win the presidency. Now that doesn't even make sense.
No.
Putin and Trump are like two peas in a pod. Why all of a sudden he's going to change and say, "Oh, I want Biden to be president"?
Yeah, no.
See,
I know that's weird.
There's something wrong with that picture.
Yeah, something's wrong with that picture.
Right. So all this time, Michelle Obama is telling Oprah and everybody else she's not going to run. She's not going to run, and she's saying the reason why she's not going to run. Why would she all of a sudden come out of the woodwork and go back into politics, which she wanted to get the hell out of?
I don't know.
With her husband. She was tired of it.
The kids are older. She needs money.
They don't need no money. They don't need money.
It says social media posts falsely claim that the party just confirmed Michelle Obama will be its nominee.
Okay.
There's no evidence that the former first lady is a candidate. So, she.
What they're trying to do is build that type of thing up.
Yeah.
You see, and guess what? Don't be surprised. You're going to hear a lot of different stuff happening soon, as we're coming into July and August and September, and it's going to be AI. You might even hear Michelle's voice saying, "I'm running." But it's not her voice. It's artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Nuts. It's out of control. And Herbert, you need to be very careful. You need to be very careful with AI and what you think. I watched a Donald Trump thing the other day, and you would have thought, sure, it was him, but it wasn't. So you're absolutely right. Be very careful how you look and how you, make sure you research anything that you find questionable, because like you guys are both saying that AI is going to just, and you could be getting the wrong. It can be very, very important for a decision that you need to make about an election. Look, I'm so big on this. Like, this is the way I want my direction to move. As far as getting the CPS victims together, is this election thing. I'm not saying I support Trump, and I'm not saying who I will support is whoever supports abolishing CPS, and whoever wants to put their hands in the jar, I will point them right out so that all of these voters that want a voice can come out and put these people in office.
Okay, now,
so make that.
Darren, I know you say you want to abolish CPS.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to say, I think CPS needs to be monitored and streamlined. Like, for example, in Josie's case, they don't want to deal with her just because they have an attitude about Josie. That's not right.
Right.
So I'm saying CPS is important. What about the parents who are putting cigarette butts on their kids?
Yeah.
And the parents who are literally hurting the kids and not feeding the kids. The kids are starving.
Yeah.
Somebody has to take those kids away. So if we don't have a CPS, who's going to take those kids away from the parents?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
We
there's
need
plenty.
CPS, but it needs to be streamlined and monitored.
Right.
There should be
I agree.
a civilian, what do you call it? A board that listens to complaints like Josie's complaints and your complaint, Darren. There should be a board that listens to that so they address it to CPS.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm saying that CPS is falling through the cracks. They're doing what they want to do, and I don't think that's fair.
No.
Darren, can you bring up a video of the show Josie, one of the videos I sent you with the police coming to the door and the parent saying, "No, I'm not letting you in."
Sure.
You got to take a look at one of these videos. I sent numerous videos to Darren showing where the police were involved because I'm trying to show the police don't get involved.
See here. Okay. Yeah, this
And
is
a lot of
crazy.
people, I wish they could see these videos to know their rights. When CPS comes to your door, unless they have a court order, you don't let them in.
Yeah.
In your case, Josie, even if it's snow on the ground, well, you're not coming in. Even if they have your mounted police there, nope, you're not coming in.
Yeah, how does that work up there? Do they
Yeah.
is the mounted police the same as
It has to
Is
be
it
the
the
same
police
because the police, the parent didn't break a law. They just want to do a check on the baby or whatever the case may be, and that's a CPS thing. And they're asking for their mounted people to come. What do you call your police up there?
The police.
Okay, fine. So the police would come, and they're just there for security reasons to make sure nothing breaks out. There's nothing.
Right.
There's no confrontation.
Yeah.
here, hold on a second. Here,
You would
sorry.
never see a police officer at your door unless it's obvious abuse that somebody saw, your neighbors or whatever. They call the police, then the police will come to your door. And they want to see that child. And if they see bruises on the child, they'll call CPS.
Right.
But to have a police come up because they want to do a welfare check or things like, no, they don't do that. That's CPS. But the CPS will bring the police with them.
No, I'm recording you guys.
I'm sorry?
I was just seeing it. I'm recording you guys, yeah, that's all. Yeah, I was recording you guys, that's all.
And what the reason for?
Just, that's what I do.
Okay, just so you know, I'm not giving you permission to record.
The lady with the mask is the
Unfortunately,
CPS
ma'am,
officer.
I'm First Amendment. I don't need your permission, especially when you're working your official capacity by law. I have the right to video record you without your permission.
So just so you know, the division did receive a referral with some concerns. So
Okay.
you and your family and just go over these concerns.
Okay, you can meet with me. What are your concerns?
I'm sorry?
What are your concerns?
Can we come in?
No, thank you.
Okay. What is the resistance on coming in?
Because I don't like dealing with typhus, that's why. I don't like random people, strangers coming into my house.
Okay. And Sienna, that
Sorry, what was your name again?
Vanessa.
Vanessa, what was your name?
Merceline.
Okay.
Okay. So we did receive concerns of physical abuse and substance abuse.
Huh?
So we do have to address that issue.
Okay, well, who accused me of that?
Unfortunately, I cannot disclose that as that is.
Well, I can't give you any more information either.
I'm sorry?
Well, I can't give you any more information either.
So how would you like to
warrant.
So you will not comply with us as well.
No, you're not going to give me any information. I'm not giving you any information. Who made the accusation? Who made the accusation?
I unfortunately cannot disclose that.
Well, that's it, ladies. Okay? Sounds very good. Thank you. Take care now.
Bring another one up where the police
Hold on,
officer
hold on,
is
hold on.
standing there.
Yeah. I believe that they come back with the officer.
So, as you know, part of my job, we do have to meet with you and see the kid and speak with the kid. I was wondering.
The same one's still on, Darren.
I know he comes back with the officer, did it not?
Okay, so you're not willing to even allow us to even.
Notice the police officer is not
Not even a little
there in
bit.
uniform.
I will not comply in the slightest bit. When you come back with actual warrants signed by a judge,
We're
then-
not the police, so we don't
Oh.
come back with warrants. We can go take we
Yes,
would
they
take
do
the
come
family,
back with the
litigate the
police.
case and take it to court,
Okay.
and the judge can grant an order, but it's
Good
not
luck.
a warrant.
yeah, good luck with that.
Okay.
I've done this over 12 years.
Okay.
How you doing?
There we go.
Been better. No, DCP and B did. The worker's right there in that van, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I believe she's coming out. I'm sorry, I have to record this for specific reasons.
It's a conversation between her. You can record whatever you want when we're speaking with you.
Okay.
You're not part of this conversation.
I have a constitutional right to record you, so
Okay.
I'm staying out of your investigation. You're there.
recording a private conversation.
There's no such thing as there's no expectancy of privacy in
No,
public,
there
sir.
is. When you're not part of the
No,
conversation.
there's no expectancy of privacy in
I'm
public.
recording right now as well.
Okay, good.
So when-
Okay, Herbert,
fine.
what about this?
I know what I'm
Yeah,
allowed to do,
about
sir.
self-defense?
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, you
I'm not.
You're not part of a private conversation. No, you cannot.
You're in public.
No, we're not.
There's no expectation of privacy in public. You're on a public sidewalk.
Why are you gonna make this more difficult?
I'm very well educated, sir. Please.
You-
So what about that, Herbert? What about that? What are those cops acting that
What
way?
about what?
Now,
How you doing today, sir?
now CPS is there. This cop.
Please, sir, may I ask you your name and badge number, please?
Yes, 292.
Thank you, sir. Well, they're talking. Would you like me to? What's going on with you? While you're here, would you like me to you so you can get a little
I
bit
just
of an
got
idea?
here, so there's something with, I guess, some state agency.
Yeah,
looking to speak with you
it's
guys.
DCP&P.
Oh, okay.
It's an ongoing issue. I've past 10 years. I have custody of my daughter.
Well,
The mother, the mother makes calls. This is the third call that I've gotten in 6 months, and I want to do welfare check. And at this point, doing is I'm just asserting my constitutional rights. Anybody to see my kids come to my house, everything like that.
Okay, yeah.
And the reason why I was explaining, I explained to the DCP worker already. The call was really, it wasn't for abuse or neglect. It was for educational neglect, which I have already. We were able to show the worker an email with the school, she's enrolled in school and everything else. So that should be enough to dismiss any kind of,
Nicholas, right?
Yes, sir.
We're gonna start it. Sorry.
Okay.
The reason why
Nick.
tell her. The reason why is what she's providing the state information to me. Okay, it's not to be out in public. That's why she wanted to go. to
I understand that. And the reason why I go this route, sir, is the reason why this has even gone this far is because, unfortunately, with their policies, they're not allowed to disclose to me the I really need because I'm going to be working on a lawsuit. And so that's the reason why I even made it go this far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like I was saying before, we're here to just help make sure that nothing escalates or
Right.
nothing. We're just here to
Right.
help them.
And,
they
I'll-
have their policies and procedures, which again I can't speak for.
Yeah, I get it. I've been dealing with this for 10 years. I'm very well versed on this. And what I was explaining is, at least to my knowledge, this lady here has not told me that it wasn't a call for abuse or neglect. It was, which we had already provided her with an email, and we sent it directly to her email, showing that she is enrolled in school. So that should be in itself enough to dismiss any kind of ill will or anything like that.
Right, but we would still need to see that the truth is
Right. Well, technically, no.
we don't have to interview them.
Like I said, I do have the Fourth Amendment right, which I'm instituting right now. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want them to closing this case before I'm able to go into the courtroom. Because once I go into the courtroom, now I have the constitutional reason, so now they will have to legally disclose all the information to me. And I should disclose to me, so this way I am able to go forward with a lawsuit for harassment and everything else.
You have the right to, that's your right. I mean, she's just here to speak again.
Right.
We can't force our residents or
Right.
anything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I know.
She has more information than we do. So if you just want to hear her out for what she's here for
Well,
tonight.
we did. We spoke, and we both kind of settled on, I'm not going to change. Unfortunately, she doesn't have the jurisdiction to change her mind. She has her policy. She has her job to do. You know, we had a very cordial conversation. You know what I mean? We weren't being rude at all. I understand that she's here doing everything that she's told to do. She's doing her job. And, you know, that's all totally understood. And like I said, that's why I want to explain to you the reason why I'm doing everything that I am doing and the reason why I had to come this far to have you gentlemen out here and waste. You could be doing something way more valuable than doing this. You know what I mean? But that's pretty much where I stand right now. And she was able to hear the kids running around and playing inside. She knows, you know, they're not in their fucking day. I mean, they're alive. And again, it wasn't a call for, you know, abuse. You know, the kids weren't being hurt. It's not like it was anything crazy like that. It was educational neglect.
It is important to come in for something else, and it could be once you get in there, you don't know what you do. So
well,
it was just us wanting to see that the kids were fine.
I get it. Yeah. And again, and like I said, I just want to, you know, I want to assert my Fourth Amendment rights. And
Like I said, we're not going to force our way into
yeah, and deny you guys children today. And hopefully court date soon.
Yep.
And this could be resolved.
I'm just gonna document this in. I spoke to you.
Yep.
You said they're fine. You don't want. She's here to check on this. I got her name and her contact, and that's it. Just information. I'm just gonna document that we were here. We spoke to you.
Right.
We spoke to
Is
her.
it possible for you to give me a copy of the call number?
Yes, we'll give you a case number.
I didn't mean to be rude.
No,
I do this all the time, man, and like.
Like I said, they just said.
You put a different one on there.
And that's what I'm trying to obtain. That's why. You know what I mean? And that's why I go. There's no expectation of privacy. I'm like, if I can get it now, really get that information now, I'm like, okay, you know what? Whatever. Now we're done. Now I got the information I need.
I understand.
You know what I mean? But that's why I'm going to try to get the body cam footage now. That's why I need the case number. You know? I told her, I've been dealing with this for so long, I'll even hire an attorney going to court by myself. It's almost a waste of money because I already know what I got to do, you know?
Now, do you run into these problems in Canada, Josie?
So what was your name again? I keep going to call you Vanessa because I've been so used to
We
dealing
don't
with Vanessa.
have.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know. Probably some people, but not people I know, because we're not like. I don't know. Probably females are more like, "Rawr, what are you doing here?" And then we panic and we don't think about saying, "Well, this is my freedom of speech and I'm allowed." And
well, there is videos, Josie, where there are women saying, "You're not coming in my house unless you have a warrant," and they stand for their rights.
I know. I've seen that in the United States, but nobody I know that.
Well, let me ask you: in Canada, what rights do you have?
Freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, the right to bodily autonomy. I don't know. We don't study them like you guys do.
If a person wants to come and take your child and they don't have any paperwork from the judge and they have police officers with them, would you relinquish your child?
Well, did I have a choice?
No.
Near my child.
No.
You know what I mean?
I'm just setting this up, and I'm saying that if a person came to take a child, they don't have paper from the courts to take the child, you can refuse. You're not going to get arrested. You didn't break a law.
But they still stole her. I tried to say, why are you taking her? This is nothing. I tried, but what can you do?
You see, again, I don't know Canada. So I'm just saying, they should. What were they doing in your house?
They were in the hospital. They stole her from the hospital.
Okay, different.
Still, that's worse. In a hospital.
Yeah.
They took her in a hospital. So, people that were there are knowing that these strangers are going away with a brand new baby. How fucked up is that? People let it go. People just let it happen. In their eyes.
One of the things you should consider doing is going to that hospital administrator and say, why did you allow this to happen?
Yeah.
You see, because the nurses respond to the administrator gives them rules and regulations of what can happen. If I walked up there and said, I'm taking the baby, they'll stop me on a dime.
But not them.
That's right. So what paperwork, you want to know from the administrator, what paperwork did they present to you, Mr. Administrator, that you told your nursing staff it's okay if they come and take the child?
Yeah. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Administrator. I don't even know. Administrator of the hospital.
Right. You're gonna first start off with the what do you call it? The supervisor for the nurses for that floor. For what is it? NC. What is it called? ICU. I mean,
nurse. Yeah.
Neonatal ICU.
Yeah. Yeah. Supervisor.
You want to talk to the head nurse, not any nurse. The supervisor nurse, and then from there you want to talk to that person's supervisor.
Okay.
Because that supervisor is going to say, well, I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about the case. They say, okay, who's your supervisor?
Okay. Good. I didn't think of that. You're so smart.
No, it's just normal thinking.
Yeah, does that too. He'll be going off on a tangent. I'm like, where the hell is this? And then all of a sudden, boom, there he goes. And I'm like, wow, where did you come from that, Herbert? He's like, oh, just normal things, not.
Why Herbert came up with that? Because I'm a law enforcement person.
Right.
So I know about all these things.
Right. That's good.
When I was in charge of police officers, I didn't get many complaints because the people complained to the police. Then they complained to the supervisor, which is the sergeant. Then they went up to the lieutenant. They didn't go beyond the lieutenant.
Okay, we got what's your name?
If they said I'm going to speak to your supervisor, to the lieutenant, that would have been me. Then I would have looked into it for you and said, okay, let me find out why that happened.
Okay.
All right, here we go. I got one more for us, Herbert, and then we're gonna wrap this one up. Let's take a look at this one and see what happens.
Okay, we got what's your name?
Slaughter. SLAUGHT.
What's your badge number?
61.
Okay. Hey, we got him. What's your name, sir?
You don't have anything to do with this case.
Huh?
You don't have anything to do with this case.
Oh, I got a lot to do with it. That's my child and my granddaughter. I have a lot to do with it. That's my seed. So you in the wrong, you way out of pocket. Don't tell me that's my child and my granddaughter. Go upstairs. Okay, no, where's Jalen?
I'm everybody's in the room.
Okay, so I'm through talking. You ain't gonna talk to nobody in here but me.
Okay.
And you're gonna do it on the other side of that door.
Can I explain to you one?
I already know why you're here. If you're here with a CPS worker, I already know I got a slight idea why you may be here. But it ain't gonna go down like that. Not today. Not today.
Why?
You don't need. You want to talk to me? We're going on the other side of that door. Other than that, you hold no authority in here. No authority. Have I broke the law?
Yeah, I know.
Huh?
No.
Anybody here committed any kind of criminal acts?
No.
X in my door. I'm telling you, dude, X in my house, or I promise you, I'm gonna put a lawsuit on you that you're not gonna be able to handle. I'm coming for your pension. I'm coming for everything.
You won't get it.
Who won't get it? You keep believing that. You keep believing that. Be 49 years old to be dumb, Slim.
I didn't either.
Okay. Okay. So
yeah,
that's why I'm telling you, you're not going to talk to no one in here, nobody. You're not going to ask me nothing. I'm not answering nothing, none of that. Okay? None of that. So they going to go down. So if you want to sit and keep violating my rights being in my house,
I'm not violating your rights.
You're violating my rights, baby. I'm telling you to exit my house.
I was invited in by someone.
And I'm telling you to get your ass out because this is my house.
Did I cuss at you?
I don't care. It's freedom of speech. Sorry if I spit on you. I'm mad. But
what are you mad for?
Because I don't like your attitude.
What's my
You think you fit. You think you put fit. You think that gun and that gun and badge don't mean shit. And it don't mean shit to you either because you're not upholding the Constitution, my right as a citizen. I'm a taxpayer. I don't give a fuck if Jesus told you to come here. I'm telling you to get your ass out. This is my house.
And you just acting like an ass.
You can call it what you want. You can call it what you want. You can call it whatever you want. One thing was certain, I'm going to stand my ground. Because until I break the law, you don't have nothing over. You don't have nothing. I don't give a fuck if you think I did. I don't care what you think. You think you Mr. Tough Ass because you got your chest over. That shit ain't about nothing. I'm not afraid of none of you motherfuckers because I know there's more. You talking about this mother stupid ass Trump all up in office causing all this bullshitting. Y'all got more. Shut the fuck up. I'm not even talking to you. I point at you. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'm pointing at. Look, y'all. He talking about don't point at him.
Now, agree to disagree, but this, all right. The cop needs to leave the house, right, Herbert? Like, this has gone too far.
What?
The cop needs to get out of the house, right?
The dog?
The cop.
The cop can't enter the house. He has no reasonable cause for entering the home.
Right, so he needs to leave with that caseworker, right?
No, he can stand there. He has the right to stand there, but he can't come inside the house.
Well, I mean, he's in the house.
Yeah, he's in the house.
Okay, I can't see the video that well. So
Yeah,
he,
no,
so
he's
then
right inside
the
the kitchen.
homeowner
Yeah, I'll
allowed the
play a little bit
caseworker and the cop to come into the house.
Yeah, they are in the house.
Listen, you ain't asked me to do a motherfucking thing in my house. You don't like what you don't like. You get out my house too. You get the hillbilly ass out my house.
Listen.
Talk about don't point at you. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I'm trying to get your.
What are you gonna do?
Do you want to have a conversation?
I don't want to have shit to say to you.
Yes, sir.
I don't care nothing about.
Yes.
Okay. Now, at this point, what that homeowner should do is ask both the CPS and the police officer to leave. That's it.
Yeah,
He's running his mouth, but all he has to say is, my business with you is over, leave.
Okay.
And the cop would have walked out and CPS would have walked out. He never told them to leave my house.
Yeah, he did a few times. He's like, get the fuck out of my house. I'm asking you to leave. Like, get the fuck out.
Yeah. He did,
Okay,
he did.
then
Hold on a
another
second,
thing
say
he
again.
could, the other thing he could do if he did that, because I haven't seen this tape before. This is not one that I sent Darren.
No,
he could
anything
ask
popped
to
up.
see a supervisor. I want to speak to a supervisor.
You like that supervisor, right?
No, you always ask for a supervisor.
All right,
Joe, I'll give you something off the beat.
I don't give a fuck if you come back with Jesus, nigga, but you gonna get out my house. Get out my house. Go get your car. You here? You don't even have a quarter. You in my house? You don't even. Quarter? No, he said he can't. No, that's not what he just said. And I'm video recording everything.
To take the child if you want to.
Yeah, you're not taking that child.
And if he comes back with a quarter, we can.
Well, that's what he better go get.
Okay.
That's what he better go get.
The order now. Just listen.
I don't give a fuck. No, I'm not listening. Listening because see, you a threat. You a threat. You a threat because there are more officers in this world killing innocent people than there are terrorists here in the United States of America. There are more officers killing and violating people's rights. More officers. The same mother who ain't gonna talk to nobody.
Okay, now listen, Darren. The CPS personnel should have paperwork saying, by stamped by a judge, that they have the right to take the child.
Right.
If they don't have that, they can't take the child.
Right.
That's the reason why what they're trying to do is wait this guy out to take the child, but he's holding his ground.
Right.
If that individual that's talking broke the law, he would be in handcuffs within a half a second. So obviously he's not breaking any law.
Agreed. Agreed, absolutely.
If I was there with that guy, I would tell him to shut his mouth, stop running his mouth, and say, look, leave my house. You don't want to leave? I want to speak to your supervisor, to the police officer.
Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, but by rights, this cop should, and so the CPS worker. But you're right.
The officer was wrong for staying there when he was asked to leave. He should have left the house. He had no reason for being in the house.
Right. Well, let's just take
because
this.
The homeowner, number one, blew it because he let them in.
Correct. All right, that's where I wanted to hit that with you. Let's just give this a couple more seconds to play here. I just realized that how far over we are. Let me just go ahead here and let's just take a look here. All right, so we're
Yeah, because there are more officers in this world killing innocent people than there are terrorists here in the United States of America. There are more officers killing and violating people's rights, more officers. The same motherfuckers are supposed to sworn in to protect us.
Even listen.
I don't want to listen. I don't give a fuck about what you got to say.
Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. And then they go here. Okay, gets them out. Sorry.
Understand the equal sign. The equal sign means I don't give a fuck what you got to say. Get out my house. You want me to calm down? You want me to talk to you? Step on my door out there and talk to you. Other than that, it ain't gonna happen. Get the fuck out.
I'll talk to you outside.
There you go. Going out.
That's it.
Finally.
That's
No,
what y'all
they
do.
should've-
Y'all stand
they
your
should've been
ground.
out way
Don't let these
before
police officers put fear in your heart, man. I don't need your foot in my door, hold my door back. I don't need you violating none of this. You're still on my property. I need you off of my property.
You gonna talk to me outside?
You outside, but you're still on my property. Get off of my property. I'll come out there with you. I ain't gonna shut the door on you. I'm gonna be a man. Oh, I'm a man in my shit. You trust me? I'm not scared of neither one of you motherfuckers.
I'm not trying to be.
You're being an asshole. I don't like you because you're a threat to society. I don't like you because you're a threat to society.
Because I'm asking you a question.
Because you're a cop. You're a crooked cop because you're already violating rights already. You sworn in to protect the law, and you're violating the law.
What did I do? That was wrong.
You came in my house.
I was invited in your house.
Okay, and I told you to exit my house. Then what?
And then I asked you.
Okay,
explain to
you're not. Hold on. You're not going to explain a motherfucker.
All right, so here we know that this is just going to go back and forth. But here's the thing. This cop was asked to leave. First and foremost, what we've learned, Herbert, is this. The cops aren't supposed to be there to help CPS, just to observe and make sure that nothing goes overzealous and nothing happens.
That's right.
This cop, again, is there clearly, as was from what it looks like, was to be the right hand to the CPS worker and get him in that home.
The police officer was wrong. But the guy running his mouth, the homeowner, being excited, if he would have just sat back for a second, take a breath, he had the upper hand of everything. Number one, he should not have invited him into the house. There was no warrant to take the child. Because I'm going to tell you why I know there's no warrant. They just walked out, didn't they?
Right, no paperwork, no nothing.
Right. Now, if there was paperwork, now they'll take the child by force. And a police officer would engage to help to take that child by force.
It's crazy.
And in so doing, that police officer would have called for backup, and there would have been 7 or 8 officers there because they know that there's going to be a confrontation, and they're taking that child by force. Now, the fact that I didn't see backup for the police officer said to me, there's something wrong with this picture.
Yes, sir. Hey, guys, we are 35 minutes past our...
But what I wanted to say to Josie is, Josie, do you have other people you know involved with CPS cases?
Yeah, I do.
You should tell them to chime in on Darren's show so we can give them ideas and pointers on what to do and share videos like this with them so they know that, number one, you don't even have to answer your door.
But the problem is the language barrier. So a lot of my people who are involved in CPS are stuck in Quebec and only speak French.
Oh, well, you know what? I can put the captions on French then. I can do that.
Oh, you can do that.
As a matter of fact, I'll do that as soon as we hang up with
then.
this. I will take that. I will make sure I put the captions on French for you guys.
There you go. I'll do it then. Fine. That sounds great.
I mean, I wouldn't mind, Josie, if you wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind seeing you come back maybe once a week and we can talk about this barrier in the United States and just get the word out and spread this.
For sure. I'm totally down with that.
All right,
and then
Herbert,
next time I talk to you guys, I got the supervisor. I'll tell you what happened with the supervisor.
Yes,
that
yes,
will be
yes.
That will be my next week.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we do
Yeah.
this Monday? Want to do Mondays? We'll call it Josie Mondays. Are you down?
Okay.
Every Monday we'll have you on here. Is that good with you, Jose?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, Josie Mondays it is then. So every Monday, guys, we'll be here with
I'm
Josie.
gonna tell Josie a little story that's off the beaten path
go
from
ahead.
CPS. It happened to me last night. I go to a store that stays open to 10 o'clock at night. Services are always available to 10. It's a supermarket. I got there at 9:30, and they told me the deli was closed as the guy was cleaning the machine because I was going to get some sliced cheese. I said, well, I thought you stay open to 10 o'clock. He says, well, my supervisor said we could close early tonight. I said, I rushed to get here before 10 o'clock. I want my sliced cheese. He says, well, sir, I can't help you. I said, who's the supervisor? I went to the supervisor. I said, you're always open to 10 o'clock. She says, yeah, but we close a little early. I said, then why don't you let me know? Why don't you put something on the door that the deli's closed at 9 o'clock or 9:30? So you know what she did? She told the guy to put my slice of cheese. He just finished cleaning the machine. He had to open it up again.
That's good. You got your cheese.
Exactly. Because I went right to the supervisor. You don't just close like that. If they would have told me that, oh, the person that works tonight was out sick, I can buy that. But the guy's right there, cleaning the machine. The machine should stay available until at least 2 minutes to 10.
To clean.
Yeah, at least it's not spilt milk.
That's why I said you always go up to the supervisor. Don't just stay with that one level.
Yeah. Lesson learned.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll let
Josie
you guys know
Monday.
next Monday what happened.
I'm putting Josie. It's official. You are in my official book here. I'll send you the. We've got a new addition to our show. We got Josie Mondays, where we have the. I got something I'll show you next Monday. I'm so excited. I would grab it right now, but I'll wait for it. I'll build the anticipation for next Monday. Josie, you have any last words before we kick? You want to say something in last words in French to tell everybody to make sure that they tune into us on at least Mondays for Josie Monday? You want to leave your own little message doing that?
OK, I will. Fait que c'est officiel. À tous les lundis, je vais être avec eux autres, puis on va parler de la corruption et qu'est-ce qui se passe dans DPJ. Puis Darren, il a dit qu'il va marquer les sous-titres en français. Fait que quand on va parler, vous allez être capable de comprendre. Fait que venez nous voir lundi. I'm done.
Awesome. Thank you.
Now, I got something
So
to
much,
say.
Josie.
The only thing I know really of a line in French somebody taught me, fermez ma bouche.
Yes, shut your mouth.
Oh, that's nice.
They said to me, fermez ma bouche. I said, fermez ma bouche. What do you mean, fermez ma bouche?
All right, guys. It was a good night. We had a good night with Josie. Herbert, thank you so much for coming on. We'll catch all you guys tomorrow night, but don't forget, Josie Mondays are coming up. All right, thanks, guys. All right, guys, I know it went a little bit longer than normal. There was a little night or a little bit of whatever, but I guess we have those 95 minutes, what it is. But hey, next Monday, we'll be here with Josie. Tomorrow, we'll be here with Herbert, Enforcement Guru, because it's really neat to see the difference in CPS and how they come across to the people in Canada. I'm excited to educate these people, to hear what they have to say about CPS, because this problem doesn't stop here. This problem is all over, and it's right next door to us, you know, especially us here in Maine. You know, we're all right here, right next door. We're all in the same vicinity. Really excited for Josie to be around. And, you know, as always, my man Herbert, the law enforcement guru. Listen, make sure you keep CPS out of your house. Pray for your kids tonight. Pray for their return home. You guys, we will beat these people. It's just a matter of time. It's not if, it's going to be when. And you know what? We're building something here, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a lot sooner than later. Till tomorrow.